to my channel. This is Jessica. Today I want to share the Rolex. This is one that I bought, and this is one I have my friend who bought. Well, to be honest with you, I have already bought this watch for more like half a year. I bought it in the last year December. So here is the one that I bought. So it's like a 28mm Lady Datejust, the green color one. It is still shining, so it's amazing. Before I buying this watch, I didn't expect I want to buy any watches at all, because in my mind, if I wanted to consume, I wanted to pamper myself, probably I would prefer to choose a luxury bag. Ever since the pandemic outburst, that there were some ups and downs in my life, I didn't buy any decent gifts for almost 2 years. After almost 2 years, when everything was turning around and my birthday was about to come. By the way, I was a Sagittarian. I decided to pamper myself a little bit. So I was just browsing those bags and I was considering buying one of them. However, I was told that, hey Jessica, you can think about a box that probably you can buy something that you can use that. You can still get a sense of gratification. At the same time, you can still keep the value. So I was wondering, what on earth would that be? That how come that I didn't know any of those things in my life? So I asked, is that the castle in the L that I didn't expect anything would be like? I can consume, I can use, at the same time can keep the value. Finally I was told that it was a watch. It happened that one of my friends asked me to help her to buy a watch in Hong Kong. Retail price of Rolex in Hong Kong is way lower. It would be like 10% or 20% lower than the one you want to buy in mainland China. It was simply just because it's tax-free, and also there was like a currency exchange differences and things like that. So I decided to have my friend to browse around in those Rolex stores in Hong Kong. There are more than 30 or 40 Rolex stores in Hong Kong, so I thought that I definitely can help my friend to buy a watch. So my friend just sent me a picture about the one that she wanted to buy on the Rolex website. And if you want to buy Datejust watch, you can just configure. They have some different choices, like the color, like material, like the size, and you have some kind of preference in your mind, and you enter them, you can combine those choices options together, and here comes the one that you want to buy. I got my friend's requirements. I start to find watch for her. Meanwhile, in last year, the Rolex market was like a hype. I mean that there were a lot of people want to buy Rolex, even they just quoted from my friend. In last year, if you work in any of those Rolex stores, you find that they are only selling cushions. There was no watches at all. Back in last year, I knew nothing about Rolex. So gradually I just realized that Lady Datejust was like a basic one. Unlike any of those way more popular Rolex styles, Lady Datejust was like the one that if you want to buy probably 2 years or 3 years ago, you wouldn't even ask for 5 or 10% off, from those sales. But in last year, it was hard for you to buy even a Lady Datejust. Unfortunately, I went to more than 10 stores, both in Hong Kong Island and in Kowloon district. I didn't find any of those, she wants, and none of them were even close to her requirements. I really remember that, those Rolex stores would close at around 7 p.m. and it was around, 6:30 p.m. I entered into the last store near the Harbour City in Kowloon district in Hong Kong. So I just bought a watch that would closely live up to my friend's expectation. So I soon sent a picture to her. Well, she said that is the watch she wants. So this is the one that she bought, and she made the choice in 1 second. She liked the watch pretty much. Well, this was not the end of the story. 2 months later, one of the sales that I consulted for sent a message to me, and she said that, hi Jessica, I got the watch that you want. She didn't know that my friend wanted a watch. She thought that it was me that I wanted the watch. So I asked her to send me a picture about that. Well, that this is the one that she sent me. I thought this is amazing, but I didn't expect to buy such an expensive watch. But out of curiosity, I still check it out in the store. Once I spot this watch, I cannot take my eyes away from her. So I decided to buy this impulsively. I think that is like a birthday gift for myself, and I had to pamper myself a little bit. The sales lady was so nice. She told me how to choose the watch, and for those who wanted to buy the first watch. Ever since then, I started paying more attention to Rolex, and I wanted to share some experience for you if you want to configure a watch for those who want to buy their first Rolex. As I just mentioned earlier that, on Rolex official website, there is a place that you can click, that is the configuration. And if you click the configuration, you can combine different options together, to form the watch you want to buy. Well, initially, you have to choose the size of the watch. Well, the one that I bought for me and for my friend were both size 28 millimeters. By the way, I have to mention that both of those watches were basically the same. The only difference was the color of the dial. Well, usually, the 28 millimeter size is for Lady Datejust. I have to mention that if you want to buy the 28 millimeters, it's just like in a link that is called Lady Datejust. But if you wanted to buy, larger size like a 31, 36, or 41, it is not in the same link, the Lady Datejust. That would be like in different link on the website. Usually, for ladies, I prefer to choose a 28 if, you are like me that I have a very thin waist. Let me just wear this on and to show you how it would be like. By the way, if you are like me, that you have a pretty thin waist, probably 28 is like a perfect size for you. And also for ladies, you can also choose the 31 as well. And 31 is slightly bigger than the 28. And 31 is the size that can both for women and for male. So I think that is the reason why, the 31 is like the one that have a higher resale price. Probably just because, for those watch vendors, 31 size would have a higher demand. Obviously, the resale price will be higher than the 28. Well, the next thing that we have to consider about is the material. You can see that both of the watches are made of a stainless steel. It is also called Oyster steel. And also there are other choices like the other materials, the way more expensive one, like the yellow gold one, ever rose gold, and white gold. And if you want to buy, those, the gold one, and there are two types of choices. You would have the one of them that would be way more expensive. That would be one that it is, fully made of the gold. So the bracelet will be like made in, the golden color. And also there is another choice. It will be the one with a relatively lower price compared to the full gold one. That would be one that you only have the gold strap in the middle of this bracelet. Well, obviously that, the chainless steel would be the most cost-effective one compared to, the other types of material. The another thing that we have to consider about is the bezel. So that is like a circle or a ring around the watch face. Well, there are also, 4 alternative options as well. That is the fluted one, just like the one that I choose. And also there are smooth one. The gem set smooth one also is called a gem set dome. And also there are the gem set one. It's like there are a ring, there is like a circle of a gem around the watch face. That would be a way more expensive one. Well, the reason I choose the fluted one, probably I feel that it's just like a symbol of a Rolex watch. So, it's as it is the first watch that I bought, I prefer to have one that have way more obvious visual of Rolex. By the way, when I had my friend, to buy the watch, I found that, sometimes it's hard for you to find a fluted one, at least back in last year. Well, I have to say that the gem set wine is very luxury, it's very beautiful and amazing. But I've heard that the resale price would discount more than the fluted one. I only think about the reason is that, the major target customers by Rolex are still men. But for men, they don't want to have a diamond-related one. So probably the demand for like the fluted one or the demand for like the dome one will be higher than those gem set one. So maybe that is the reason that the gem set one would discount more than the fluted or the dome bezel. Well, in the next step, we have first to consider about the bracelet option. Well, you can see that both watch are choosing 3-link Jubilee, and there is another choice that is a 5-link Oyster. When I help my friend to buy watch, the 3-link Jubilee is it's way harder for me to see. Maybe the 5-link Oyster was the way more common one in the showcase in those Rolex store, but it was just based on my observation. But maybe it was not right. So if you have any knowledge about this, you are welcome to leave a comment. By the way, I used to thought that the steel strap is very formal, but my sales told me that the leather strap can be slightly formal one compared to the steel strap. They think that steel strap is way more casual. Steel bracelet is like way more versatile one. It is one that can match with all kinds of clothes and outfits. You can wear this watch to your workplace, and during weekend you go outside, you can still also wear this watch. Next thing we have to consider about is the color. Well, you can see that I choose the green color one and my friend choose the white one. Both of them amazing. Well, there are 4 color alternatives, including the green one, the pink one, the silver one, the pearl one. And it's worth mentioning that if you are the one that you want to buy the green color one, green color is like a typical color that could represent Rolex. If you want to buy that, you cannot choose that among the 28 size. Based on the website, if you want to buy the green color one, you have to choose at least the size 31mm dial. And the another thing we have to consider about is that whether you want to choose a stick dial or the Roman dial. Well, for the 28mm, the Rolex Roman dial numeral probably I feel is a little bit too big for a 28mm dial. The number just squeeze a little bit in a small watch face. However, I still feel that the Roman numeral is also very amazing. It's way more retro and unique. For the stick one, it is way more simple and way more classic, so I like both of them. Maybe next time, as I mentioned earlier, that I want to consider about choosing the 31mm one, and I would consider about buying a Roman numeral. That's the kind of thing that I want to have. That is the kind of option we have to consider about if we want to buy a Datejust watch. We have to consider about the size, about the dial. We have to consider about the material, and also the color about the dial, and the bezel, the bracelet option, and whether you want to have a stick numeral or the Roman numeral onto that. So there are so many things we have to consider. So probably next time I want to buy a 31mm, the green color, the Roman numeral one. And I also feel that green color is like one that as time goes by, the green color would match with your maturity, your aura, your presence. So maybe that is a kind of option I would consider about it in the future. Well, anyway, that is my introduction about the Rolex. So if you like my video, please thumb up and subscribe me. And if I have any questions or comments, you are welcome, to leave a message and chat with me. So anyway, thanks. Bye.
What do you think about this watch? It's amazing, right? And this is like the Oyster steel, so it is pretty low fire, but it's pretty shining under the sunshine. I think that this kind of watch is not